Where is your harmonica?
Oh,
Bro,
damn.
bro.
Is that part of the
Yeah, he
podcast?
he did this the previous time. I'm like, okay,
It was amazing, whatever that was.
And क्या बोल क्या गए?
पोस्ट में करते हैं.
Post में कर लेंगे. हाँ,
Yeah,
ठीक है,
चलेगा.
कर
Okay.
लेंगे.
It could be AI generated.
Yeah.
नहीं यार.
Just
वो इतना वो आएगा ना, इतना वो फटा हुआ है ना, मेरे पॉकेट में ही रहता है हमेशा.
अच्छा.
तो उसमें वो एक हार्शनेस है. तो
Wow.
you will know that it is not
Okay.
AI.
Now I want to see whatever you did
Okay.
last time.
I'll send you a link.
Maybe you can just show it. that
Maybe
the-
later.
Maybe later. We are recording. हाँ, बैटरी खत्म हो जाएगी हमारी.
Yes.
Fine. ठीक है. So, Abhimanyu, welcome to the VividYellow podcast.
Welcome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
And so, I would want to introduce Abhimanyu, but I think a lot of people already know him. And I mean, he'll talk about himself, but
Sure.
थोड़ा सा intro देंगे हम. So, the point of inviting him is he is so experienced and such a fun guy to talk to. He has worked with Accenture as an engineer, then went on to become a designer, then went to an edtech company, and then he joined the big Designit studio as the director. So, I mean,
Oh, started as an engineer, is it?
I did. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Non-design.
Like
you-
what engineer?
It was business intelligence and analytics. Yes.
Oh.
are you the
And-
only one who did not have engineering background here?
I
He also
I
did.
also
You
have
also
an
did.
electronics and communication engineering.
So that was my degree.
Acha, okay.
Yes.
And then you had masters.
I did not do a master's.
Okay.
I sort of explained this, but should I get into it right away?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. All right.
But I'll just say one thing: three
Yes.
tormented souls here. The ECE, the worst. Okay.
What did you say
Yes.
about electronics and communication? Yeah. I connect with it. Okay. Does not make sense. You know, there is only one thing that I tell to people that I used to design circuits. By the way, that's lie as well. Here, I designed user interfaces.
Yes.
That also is a lie as a head of design. So yeah, sure.
Awesome. So yeah, so I started off in this business intelligence analytics space. We were talking about it earlier. If you've seen any of those Hollywood movies where hackers are looking at a black screen with lots of white text and they're trying to get an assistant, I used to do that.
Yeah.
That is the kind of stuff I used to do. I used to enjoy it. I still enjoy it to this day. And the way my role was set up, I used to build command line apps for people to use.
Oh, acha, okay.
So even while I was an
Sorry,
engineer, I
how-
was, yeah.
What era are we talking about? When
I
you said
started
command line.
working in 2010. So this is Linux servers and Linux
Oh, yeah,
server
okay.
administration and all that. So I used to build these command line applications for people to use.
Okay.
And even then I used to like take care of a lot of small little nuances of, hey, this should look like a menu. This should have a certain color. People should be able to know when they're in production or development and all of that. So I never realized that I was doing something which is adjacent to UX design. And then I went to US as part of this role. I was working from there. And I used to attend a lot of hackathons or meetups and things like that over there. In one of those meetups, I got introduced to this world of UX design. And my mind was blown. I was like, this is something I want to do for life. I need to figure out how to do this. And this was back in 2014, 15-ish.
Okay.
Since then, I'd been trying to figure out ways to get in. And I was working in Accenture at the time. So I was finally, about 4 years from then, able to convince someone in Accenture, the design team, that look, I have the skills, I have the chops to do this, give me a chance. And that's how I got in. And that's how the rest of the introduction that he gave was I did a design stint in Accenture, led a design team for an edtech company,
Okay.
and then joined Designit as a design director. And yeah, I've been with the team now for more than 2 years. It's going to be closer to 3 years now.
And guys, that's exactly how you tell the story. Not like I liked some colors in the school and I'm like, I'm a UX designer.
That's the story everybody has. I was very creative back when I was young.
I mean, I think those still are parts of like what draws you to a field like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of believe like that just, I don't remember the last time when I had tried over some colors and crayons, maybe that's me. But that turning out to be like one of the baseline stories for you turning out to be a UX
UX
designer
designer.
does not fit in well is what
Sure.
I feel like. And
Yes,
everyone
yes.
says that. Everyone.
I hear you.
But from his story, what most interesting part is without even knowing what is design, he was designing even before that.
Yeah.
And even before knowing like the state of the system and all that,
Right.
kind of we all, while we are doing it, we do kind of figure out what we are supposed to do. Book में पढ़ के बाद में पता चलता है कि okay, this is what it is called. People start figuring out design very naturally.
Like, पहले गलतियां करो फिर बाद में समझो कि वो ऐसे करना था. Is that what you mean? Okay. Yeah.
नहीं. That's what नहीं. I meant कि he was telling people, interacting with people
Right.
through interface, taking care of कि इनको
Yeah.
अभी dev environment है, अभी ये है.
Correct.
अब तो we were already classifying things into categories and then
Yeah.
on the interface.
There was that angle of empathy for sure. And I think it was, they say that you should not be your own user, do your user research and all. But obviously, when I was just doing this for myself, I was my own user. And I think I almost did something bad in the production environment. And since I was like, you know what, I should probably have something here that's red. That always makes me think that I'm in production, I should not do something wrong. And when I saw that being effective for me, and I was in a role where I could do it for others, I just enabled it for everyone else. So now everyone, when they're working in their dev environment, was seeing something green. It was actually the cursor, I think, that I changed. So they would see green as a cursor in your dev, yellow in
Okay.
sort of test,
Test.
and then red in production.
Production.
So the moment you open your terminal and you see something red, you're like, okay, I need to be careful.
Okay.
So yeah, there was an angle of empathy, and then I myself was the user, and then I was trying to
Yeah, that
make
actually
people's
makes
lives
sense.
better.
No?
मतलब डिज़ाइन लोगों को naturally आता है. Without even studying design, people start getting things and they designing their own environment and then learning design a little bit from everywhere without even realizing it is design.
Yeah, but I think we lack a baseline. Like you see,
Right.
when we continue in that particular trajectory for
Hmm.
long, we will always be doubtful as to am I doing it right or wrong.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I think over time we will anyway have to anchor it to something and then
Right.
say that okay, maybe this is the right way to do
That
it.
is 100% true. What I was just saying कि people do it naturally is what I'm saying.
There is that element of people being able to do it naturally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that
yes.
is why everybody, when there's a design meeting, when there's a design preview,
Everyone's a
has
designer, right? Yes.
something
yes.
to say.
And I think you're right, because even when I had to,
I don't like it. But can't help it. I mean that's how it
but
is.
that's how it is, right? You talk about something, and because it's visual, it's something
Exactly.
they want to see. Everyone will have an opinion for
Yeah.
sure. But that's how it was, right? I was like, okay, I figured out I want to do this. Between the time that I actually got to do it officially, I said, you know what? I think I need to do a certification for two reasons. One is to officially figure out how things are done. And two, when someone asks me, hey, what proof do you have? I at least have a certification to show them, right?
Right. Yeah.
So this was MIT's Sloan School of Education, so Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They had a design thinking course.
Right.
I think it was like 6 months, if I'm not wrong. I was like, you know what, let's just do this. And it was an incredible experience because I met people from all geographies. I'm trying to think of a name. This was someone from, I think, African origin, but living in Germany. His name starts with an E. I just cannot pronounce it.
Okay.
But that was one of the people in my group. And then we had people from the US and some other parts of Europe and all that. So it was a nice experience. But to your point, right, like you can only go so far with doing it naturally, I guess.
Yeah, his point.
Once you, yeah, right, and then eventually if you are able to do something to solidify that knowledge, for sure.
Amongst us, there is someone who says that no, there is no need of certification.
No,
Oh, okay.
I was going to ask that question. What are your thoughts on, I mean, I have heard a lot of people, there are two schools of
Yeah.
thought, like who say that no, certification is not required for anything. I mean, I don't believe in certifications, a set of group. And there is another set of group of people who go on, adding certifications on
Yes.
certifications.
I have someone on my team who is like that.
I have like some 8 certifications at this point of time from really good schools.
What are your thoughts on that? I mean,
So I think
yeah.
now that you mentioned it in that way, right? There's two schools of thought. I feel like depending on where you are in your career, getting certifications would be relevant for you to keep growing. And then it's diminishing returns after that. At a certain point, you can get as many certifications as you want, but that's not adding to your knowledge just through the certification. Unless you've got the hands-on, unless you've done something, that's way more valuable and teachable than a certificate. It may look fancy on LinkedIn, but that's probably a 2-second impression that someone has.
Yeah.
But that's my thought. So depending on where you are, the more junior you are, I think your certifications will definitely build credibility. As you go higher up, don't think it matters.
In my opinion, I think when you're facing a problem at work and you really need guidance and you're not getting guidance, doing a certification and getting that knowledge from a third party by a certificate, because certificates are good, but the knowledge that comes with it is more important.
I also believe certifications add on to your skills. I mean, like he said, you need to have the hands-on knowledge to it, but you definitely have to, if you have to grow, you need to add those skills to you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to remain stagnant in that role and with those skills that you have currently.
Right. And I think I did not cover that one, but you're right that, for example, I know folks who are doing UX design but now want to switch over to something like service design. There are two options again. You just get an opportunity and you start doing it, or you do a certification, figure out what it is, and then tell either your own company or some other company that, hey, look, I know how to do this, just give me an opportunity, right? So that's the other thing. So I guess don't do certifications for the sake of getting that label on your profile.
Believe me, there is a certification that you can get on user experience by just answering 8 questions.
Oh wow!
For 99 rupees.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a guess for that. But
and if that's I absolutely agree with you. You need to have the right intentions.
Yes.
And you want to become a proper UX designer. You don't want to experiment so much and then figure out all by yourself, because, why exactly do we read books is because someone has done this in the past and we just want to take something from them and then do something
Take a
better from
direction.
them. Yeah. And I think certification also on one front gives you the deadline. Like, I'm supposed to get it, so I'm just going to cover it in the 6 months of time. You give yourself lifetime and then you're like, okay, I'll figure this out. Okay, if I was a person, I wouldn't figure this out. I'll be like, I don't have a deadline, I wouldn't figure this out. So, yeah, it adds value. By the way, I believe that certifications are sold by you yourself. Like the way how you just spoke of MIT.
Yeah.
And you got a certificate from there, that I think is you adding value to that certification.
Sure.
Telling that it's a good certification.
Sure.
So
that makes sense. In the combination of, hey, where I am right now and what it helped me with, it does make sense. Like, I was just thinking of this yesterday. Coursera is now giving you this 8,000 for a year pro subscription.
Access,
and then you can just do certifications on it.
Like the IDF? Even IDF.
I think IDF keeps doing that.
Yeah.
IDF actually sent me an RCS or maybe a text message, and it was almost like a friend telling me, hey, you've forgotten your subscription. I'm like, what's happening?
That lady,
it's that Rikke, right? I think that's her name.
Swedish.
Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying was that whenever this Coursera thing pops up, I always, even at my level, think there is the Google certification. I think IBM has one, and so on and so forth, right? Not for the certification, but sometimes I feel that maybe I should just go through that just to know how a company that's doing well has structured their thought in terms of, how do you figure out UX design? And you get a glimpse into how they're doing things inside, right? So if you can't talk to someone at Google, or if you can't actually, walk in, be a fly on the wall in the campus, you can at least do that certification to understand, hey, how do they work? So even at my level, I'm sort of thinking at times, like, should I just do it for the sake of just knowing how they do things? That's maybe another.
I go through their brochures. I go through their certification brochures.
Right.
So
the course outline that tells you. Yeah.
It tells me which chapter do I not know about. So that gives me insight. Should I do this?
Should I also figure this out? Yeah.
I have a question actually.
Yes.
So during your certification or before that, who mentored you into design?
So personally, I did not have a specific mentor. But I remember very vividly, I was in a hackathon. This was called Hack for Western Mass. This was for Massachusetts. And we were solving a problem it was some delivery related thing. So on the team was people who knew what they were doing. There was a designer, there was a PM who actually took that role, there was an engineer, and then there was me. I was like, I can do whatever you want types. And so I was helping. Yeah, sure. And so I was
CEO
helping.
ऑफिस बोलते हैं आजकल उसको शायद
Founders office.
Yeah. So I was helping everyone out, like, okay, can I do this? Can I do that? And I remember that when I was helping out the designer on the team, towards the end of the thing, he said, hey, you are naturally doing this. Why don't you try this out as a profession? So I sort of look at that as the mentorship that I got in form of a validation that, okay, I did some things and someone who's doing it professionally is saying that this is making sense. So that gave me a little more confidence. And that was before the certification, which is probably what led me to, let me just do this. Yeah.
And do you have anyone now like I नहीं हो रहा है help me out? Yeah.
So I think one person I keep looking up to is Namrata, who was my manager in Accenture and then briefly in Designit as well. Even when I joined the Accenture team, I think if you come from this non-design education, engineering type background, your imposter syndrome is just like with you all the time, right? And so she helped me in certain assignments that we had at that point in Accenture. Like one of them was a heuristic evaluation. So at the surface, it seems like, yep, so it wasn't NNG, the one that we were using. It was actually based on HFI's thing. So there was like, forgetting all the things now, but it had a different model, right? And so yes, on the surface, you can be like, okay, I know I've got to apply this to this screen and figure out what it is. But what I actually learned from her at that point was, how do you talk about that? So, okay, you've understood this button doesn't work. But if you just go and tell them this button doesn't work, or it's red and I don't like it, that doesn't have the impact that you need, right? So how do you articulate and how do you talk about that? That was like my first learning from her. So every thing that I've done with her, whether it's a workshop, a project or anything, there have been these micro learnings that I've picked up. So I definitely see her as a mentor. And even though we're not actively like in mentoring sessions every day or something, when I'm stuck and I'm like, you know what, I need to talk to someone about this, I do call her up and I check with her, hey, what's happening? But then I also want to say this, that it's not always seniors that I'm looking at mentorship for. There's also times when I'm looking at juniors for mentorship. People who are out of college, Gen Zs who are doing, looking at the world differently, all sorts of people who've done something that I haven't done. If I see that, hey, they're doing something in a very interesting way, I'll be like, you know what, come here. Tell me what you did. Show me what you did, right? So in that way, those are those small little mentors running around here and there, which are helping me.
So I kind of believe like after a specific career level as a UX designer, you maybe will not look for a mentor just in UX design.
Yeah.
Because specifically, I'm supposing that that's what the director position would let you do. Like you have to become someone who enables business. You have to, set up teams, manage their performance.
Yes.
So what's really going to happen in this particular case is if you're trying to find a design mentor, they might not help us. They might help the team that maybe we are trying to structure up. What is really required for maybe a director and as a head of design at this point of time is how exactly should you create momentum within the team? How should they be maybe innovative and also have their energy put up? How to build rapport amongst other stakeholders where user experience really has that value structured out. And I kind of believe like this is much beyond like just identifying how to solve the problem. So in this case, I think I've been sitting and trying to figure out as to how to sell design.
Yeah.
And that does not involve how to solve the problem. Like that more is about how to sell it. So I think there are many other different kinds of mentors to look for as well.
Absolutely.
When, for example, when I am hiring, I generally tend to look for mentors when I'm hiring. Like मेरे को ये नहीं आता है or something I'm bad at this, I need a mentor. So my team, if I have a big team, will be full of my teachers, basically.
I mean, that's the thing, right? When you as a generalist or you as a person who are enabling a team, there are a lot of things you might be short at. And that's how you bring a team.
That's why you make a team.
That's why you make a team.
If you could do everything, then you'd probably just do it yourself.
So
Yeah.
I don't know about mentors, but you are enabling a business by getting in people and something which you yourself couldn't do it. You know how to have an eye for that person or whoever can, fulfill that work for you, and you build the team, right? And that enables the business to grow and
You know
the
what?
team to grow as well.
It would be very interesting to know for people exactly what does a director of design do then.
Be very
अरे
interesting
कुछ
for me
नहीं
to know.
करते
Be very interesting for me to know as well. But no, I think a lot of the things that you said, right, which is thinking about what the studio is doing for the business, thinking about how the team should be structured, how should it grow, taking care of growth of individuals that are on your team. Those are, I think, typically the kind of things that the director position gives me. But I'm also hands-on on various things, right? So I recently told someone that I used to think about what this word design director means. And I find myself naturally when someone is bringing something to me, I mean, it probably comes naturally to everyone, which is, hey, this is not right, fix this is not right, fix this. I'm doing that, but I'm realizing that I'm doing that in the right direction because I know that the outcome of this is going to get to a point where it's better than where it is right now, and it's in the direction of what we want to achieve and all of that. So just recently I was telling someone, okay, I do feel like a director now because I'm just telling you, hey, this doesn't look right, fix this, change this, make it bigger, make it smaller.
Right.
And
But do you go on the extreme end where you're like, you will take a lot of time to solve this, let me do it?
That is something I'm trying to move away from.
But you do.
I do.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I remember in this edtech startup, the person who was working with me on the team, he used to joke that I'm going to leave my file all messy, and when I come back tomorrow morning, it'll all be fixed because Abhimanyu will do it because he can't stand it. So yeah, I do. There could be extremes where I would go into that, but I'm trying to have this balance between leading from the front and leading from behind and all of that. Right? That is something I'm working on. Yes.
This has honestly happened with me a lot earlier in the career when Almas put me in a senior position, and we had a few juniors in our team.
Yeah.
And we had a fresher also, and that poor thing would do something and kind of give up a little bit, thinking, Rishik, he'll take care of it. So
Humble, poor thing, dumb person. Is it the word that you would use? No, a dumb designer. No, that's not what you mean.
But I think that's you still have to do it, right? Because I mean, so my dad was in the army. He's retired now.
I saw the army tag on your.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
because it's my
That's
dad's
his
car.
dad's car.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a small little car, a Comet TV, which I drive around the city. And since he has taken that today, I was like, let me do the
Exchange the
XUV.
line.
Yeah, and I picked up the XUV, which is just ginormous. But anyway, one thing he said was that in the army, because there is this system of people reporting to you, as a superior, you would never give an order that you wouldn't do yourself.
Okay.
Right? That is one of the ethos that entire organization lives by, right? So even if you're telling someone, go climb up this mountain, find the enemy, kill them, that is something that you yourself as a superior can do and you know how to do, and that's why you're telling them. And I sort of imbibe that into the way I work.
Yeah.
Because I make sure that if I'm telling someone, even though it may be a skill I don't know, like for example, motion design, After Effects, just the way After Effects affects computers, it affects my brain also. I also freeze. So even if it's something like that, and I tell someone, hey, look, we need a lottie animation done for this, I'll probably sit with someone who's the expert for a couple of times so that I can figure out, okay, what does it take? What all does it need? If push comes to shove, I'll figure out how to do it myself. But I make sure that I'm at that state where I'm not just saying, hey, you figure it out.
Right.
It's not my thing, right? So that's something I live by. And I feel like that's probably the right way to build confidence in your team, because then your team also sees you as someone who can, hey, if I don't get it, I have someone who can help me out.
Right.
And that's how you slowly direct them. You sort of show them, hey, look, why don't you try this out? Name your layers in Figma or use auto layout. You show that slowly and then they sort of get a hang of it. And
It's like not telling them that go figure this out by yourself.
Yeah. I've actually had that kind of a teacher when I was in my engineering role. And that did help me learn and grow, but it was from a very negative point of view.
Like you would do it, you would actually come on the other side like,
Yes.
okay, kar liya, but then you don't like the teacher.
Yeah.
It's a negative experience.
Yeah, so I mean, both helped you learn and grow and whatnot, and I think both might be relevant at different points. But I personally like to do it the other way, where I show you how to do it and then you learn and
You
move
would
on.
not even feel confident in the project if you don't know what you're telling other people to do. Like, unless
Yeah.
you understand it, how will you give timelines to, let's say, the guy you're
Oh yeah,
recruiting?
absolutely. We have both industrial design and digital product design at Designit,
Oh, okay.
and there is another design director with me at my level, and then we report to a head of India studio.
Okay.
So she is the expert in packaging and industrial design and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And when a project like that comes in fact, we are doing one or two projects, I hear her talking about it, talking about timelines, talking about how she'll break it down, and I'm like, what? How did you even think about this? How do you know about all of this? And that goes back to her experience and how she knows things. And I remember some interns had joined us for that particular type of design work, and they were extremely happy in what they learned from her, right? So she could rely on the interns to do their job when she gave them something to do. Because that's also, I mean, you knowing what to do is also important, because you need to assign a certain portion of that job. If you just say, hey, do all the 100% to someone junior, that's not going to happen.
Right.
But if you know what to do, you can say, you know what, you're starting off, why don't you take 10%? You're a more senior person, take the 40%, and then so on and so forth, right? So it's nice to see that once you know what you can do, you're effective in so many ways. Yeah.
Sushik is thinking कि like कितना deviate करोगे आप लोग?
नहीं, I was looking at the audio ज़्यादा clip ना हो, उसका it should not redline throughout ना.
Okay.
Yeah. नहीं, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I thought like you're seeing that and like क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे?
नहीं, I was actually also looking at the time.
Oh, okay, cool.
No. So
Yeah.
that I can get to the next question before.
Oh,
Like,
okay,
yeah.
understood.
The
Can you
battery
some
runs
water?
out?
No.
I'm good for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So let's try to understand, like, we all have challenges when we are doing something. As a director, what are the like common challenges, or let's say last 2 weeks, what have you been facing?
Last 2 weeks.
Whatever you can share.
I think the biggest thing I'm figuring out right now is getting projects in and having the right number of people to put on them.
Oh.
In the world and environment where we are, where it's there's a crazy president of a country doing crazy things, which is shaking up the entire economy of the world. There's so much uncertainty that even though like there's projects in the pipeline, they're not committed immediately. Like, hey, we've given you this date, we'll start on that date. Everything's slightly delayed and all of that's happening.
I would like to just add some context.
Yeah.
There is a random guy, Arnab Goswami of USA, let's say random guy, not even remotely currently in power. He just tweeted, we should tariff the call centers, saying that we should tax India, just calling us the call center,
And that impacted the market, right?
and that impacted the market.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
okay.
like, there's things happening in a different part of the
Yeah,
world. We
yeah,
are closely
yeah.
connected to it, and it's
Yes.
impacting us, and you're able to see it, right? And so there is at this point like a big juggle of, okay, how do I figure this out? How do I make sure I get the projects in? How do I keep the people, the great talent that I have with me, put them on the project? They shouldn't get bored. They shouldn't run out of projects, because then why would they want to stay here and those kind of things, right? So that's the latest challenge I'm working on. But I think over the 2-3 years that I've been, it's been different kinds of things. It's been trying to make sure, I mean, when I joined, there wasn't really a process in terms of hiring. So figuring out what's the right amount of assignments and rounds and all of that to get someone in without making it too bloated, or without making it too, there's organizations which will help you do it, which will make you do an assignment which is actually a problem that you are trying to solve internally, which
Yeah.
I find is very unethical.
Yeah.
So trying to find that balance and then making sure the right talent comes in. Once they do come in, how do you make sure that the people at different levels are growing and are learning the right things? Because not everyone at the same level will know the same level of information. So those are the kind of things I'm trying to figure out over my years as a design director here. I know that, I mean, the label sounds heavy. But I just look at myself as, hey, I'm here to enable a team to do good work. Right.
I'd like to ask a follow up on that.
Yes.
So maybe connected to hiring. How did you have to present yourself? I think this is a question from a lot of designers who are, trying to get a job or looking out for roles. When you had to, interview for this position, what was your journey like? How long did it take for you to get to that position? How was the hiring?
Sure.
What did you have to go through? I mean, it's a big role.
So this
It's a
is for
leadership
all the
role.
people who would like to become design directors tomorrow.
Design directors, anything on the leadership.
Yeah.
I think there are good amount of people who want to get to that level. Something on that, if you could shed light.
Sure. So I was recollecting my hiring and Designit some days back. I don't know for what reason, but it was not like I think I remember now. I was asking someone else who joined as an associate director somewhere else. And I was asking her like, what was your hiring process like? Did you have to show a project and talk about what happened in the project and all of that? She said that yes, it was there, but that was not the focal point of the conversation. Because at this level, what the person is looking for is, hey, can I hand you this responsibility and can you just take it and run with it? So it's not really so much about what did you do on a specific project, but more about these are various types of things you may have to do. So a lot of the rounds were heads of other studios who were meeting with me and just trying to understand who I was as a person. I think like a vibe check is maybe a word I would use, which was not like the official thing, but they were trying to figure out, hey, if this person joins in, are we going to work together across seas and oceans and whatnot? And then there was the head of HR globally for Designit who interviewed me. And it was a similar case with the person I was talking to. So she did have a project which she showed, but not in terms of, hey, this is a pixel I pushed. It was more about, I had a team of X number of people. This is what the client wanted to achieve. And this is how I drove things and achieved that outcome or went beyond and whatnot. That was kind of the story around that.
The vibe check part, see, you can judge someone's talent by looking at their portfolio, but are they crazy or not? How do you tell? That's
And that's important, is it?
it is very important.
Yeah, like, are you crazy?
Crazy in which direction? Yes. No, but we've discussed that, and I'm using the word vibe check for lack of a better term.
No,
But
I think that's true. I mean, I think a lot of people connect with it because vibe check, when you say, how are you present? I mean,
Correct.
what is your personality like? I think that
how
adds
do you
on-
fit in with the
fit in,
studio?
yeah.
What do you do, right?
Like, are you gonna come in the institute and then start reprimanding all those people who will not follow what you say? That's the kind of good leader are you?
No, I've heard stories about there was someone like that previously who was very strict, and people used to fear him more than the client to go and like show work.
Yeah.
At some level that helped because before they got to the client, everything was like proper.
Proper.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn, nice.
So I do appreciate a part of that.
Yeah, good go.
But yeah, we've spoken about this internally because you don't want to create an echo chamber as well.
Yeah.
So you don't want all designers sort of the same type, and you just don't have a variety. But at the same time, you also don't want someone who distorts the vibe, let's say, right? Who negatively affects what's happening. And I don't think there is a silver bullet to figure out what that is. You have to follow your gut at times. You have to bring people in and take that chance. It may or may not work out, and then you deal with it. You figure out what to do. And that's probably one of the parts of being in the position where I am, that I have to have difficult conversations with people sometimes. I have to go and tell them that, hey, look, the way you did this particular project was great, but the way you talked to these many people was not right. You got to change that slightly, and that's how they would grow as well, right? So
I remember you when you were talking to Pooja in the AOH podcast. We were talking about like getting a guy for a small project or like a 3-month thing, and then like contractually, and then see if the vibes are right, and then hire them full time.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a conversation around hiring, and I think it was more to do with again, the way the world is right now, because companies may not be comfortable getting someone full-time taking that responsibility. Especially in India, you have like PF and this and that goes along with hiring a person, as opposed to contracting something out. And there's like dimensions to it, but the conversation there was why one of the ways is you could contract out someone. You could do a three month or a 6 month thing, work with them on a project. If things work out anyway, extend an offer to them, bring them on the team.
And I think this also gives some ease to those people as well who are joining the team to understand as to what exactly will I work on. Will I really like this or not?
Oh yeah.
Because there are a lot of people who are trying to experiment as to what are they really good at. And maybe, and I keep telling this, right? Like people who are coming from these small startups, organizations, right? They enjoy this deep generalist representation. Like I'm not someone who would always keep doing primary research, go conduct interviews, and that's exactly what I want to do for the next 10 years. I want to keep doing, like I'll solve the problem today, I'll go sell tomorrow, I'm going to go do a little bit of marketing. So what's really going to happen is when I jump into an organization, the organization might not have given me all the details. So I'm like, give me some time for about a month or so. And I'll really be able to tell you as to will I keep adding value for the time coming or not.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good way to
In
go.
fact, the point at which I came out of the edtech startup was a point where I felt that I am costing you more than I'm adding value.
Okay.
So it was a very sort of a mutual conversation that, you know what, someone very junior to me could continue to do this work for you.
Oh, you
So-
had laid the grounds and then someone could have actually...
Yeah, that was the case. And then it was the time where edtech was very in a turmoil. So people were trying to figure things out. So at that point, I was like, you know what, I'm just listening to what you guys are saying, making a screen out of it, and someone else could do this for you. So you don't need to pay me that much. And I have an opportunity where I could move to. So let's just figure this out mutually, how we do it. And
This was a nice way of getting out of...
Yeah.
Sheikh, we need a charger for that.
Oh, for this laptop.
Right, okay.
We can take a quick
Pray mine.
break
Yes.
for
What does your wife do?
She is in Accenture. We met while we were there.
Oh,
nice.
She's actually still in the same role, but she was a systems analyst. So she's still doing that work.
Accenture is better at making matches than Tinder.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
He met his wife in Accenture.
And she's still there, and we were just talking about that.
Wow.
Yeah, you miss out on a lot of
Lot of
conversation when you step out.
right?
This is what office boy does. This is not on the conversations.
So yeah. No, we were in the same project and everything, right? So we used to say that eventually our kids are going to join the same project. They're going to do the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, this is sorted.
Yeah. Just it's a Khandani project now.
Yeah.
It's still running, is it?
Project
Yeah,
is
it's still
right.
there. Yeah. It's one of the biggest projects.
Like they joined the project,
Oh.
they were together, they met there, and that project is still going
Still
on.
going
And
on.
he's
Oh, acha.
It's one of those they call them metal accounts, right? Big account for Accenture. So yeah, it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
It's been going on for 15 years.
oh wow.
As long
That's
as you're
crazy. Yeah. No, I was just the other day someone asked me something about a photo. I was like, Abhi ki to hai 2010. They're like, that was 15 years ago. I'm like, what? You are right, that was 15 years ago.
That's how
Oh.
millennials feel about
Yeah.
being born in
Yeah.
1992, and then Gen Zs come and call us old.
Yeah.
But I think that's how it would look like even for scale, right? Like you're not going to let go of it after 10-15 years also, and then we'll be doing it a lot better.
Yes.
So we'll have a story today.
Absolutely.
We're building a story now. Yeah.
Okay, nice way of inserting scale into the conversation.
Yeah, recording. Record.
It is
what
a
is
recording.
it? Oh,
Yes.
damn it. Okay, this is a good line.
What tools are you kind of crazy about right now?
I mean, if you had asked me sometime back, it was for sure Figma.
Are we talking about the elephant in the room, AI?
I think it eventually,
See, पूरा
we
plan
will get
fail
there.
कर दिया यार. मैं सोचा था smartly घुसेंगे AI as a tool
I think the moment you say what tools are you crazy about, AI is just
वही मैं थोड़ा
on top of my mind. Yeah.
ठीक है कोई बात नहीं.
No, but at some point, Figma itself has had like a crazy journey right now. But Figma used to be like the go-to tool.
It is.
In fact, it changed the way designers are doing things, right? And at the same time, it lowered the bar for design.
Yeah.
There is this perception of if I know Figma, I'm a designer, right? That's
Okay,
there.
Okay.
and in a way, when we talk about the AI side of things, I'm happy that AI has come in because it has completely flipped that on its head, right? So now, if I know Figma, I'm not a designer yet, right? There's so much more I have to figure out. And Figma itself has become like a mammoth in what you have to do. I remember just within Designit, I used to tell people, hey, you need to learn Figma, you need to figure out color styles, you need to figure out components. And then a couple of months later, I was like, okay, you need to figure out variants. I'm like, okay, you need to figure out variables. Okay, you need to figure out a design system. And it just kept growing.
Yeah.
And now we've burst out of Figma, and now you've got Figma Make, and you've got FigJam, slides, so many things that are going on. But Figma used to be the thing. I remember someone who was very fond of XD from a different studio while I was in Accenture came, sat with me.
He also is very fond of XD.
Yeah, so he came, sat with
You as
me.
well.
And
Because that was the
I mean,
tool.
that was there. Like I come from the place where there was something called Microsoft Essentials. Jahan pe, yeah, like there was.
I remember this.
Yeah, so that was like the best thing that is out there. If you have used Adobe Photoshop, crazy. Like you have to make use of layers, and then it just obstructs you from creating many things. Graphic design and
Talk
stuff.
about Microsoft Essential a little more. I remember this, but I can't like fully picture. what
Right.
it
I mean,
was.
it also had layers, like the way how Adobe Photoshop did, but it was rather very smooth, a very small sized application that was freely available for
Like
anyone who
Balsamic,
has
I remember
Microsoft.
this.
Yeah.
Like Balsamic kind of.
No,
I'm gonna look it up.
Balsamic is very
I
low-fi.
remember this.
Yeah, Microsoft Essential was really good.
We will
And,
put it on the screen just for the podcast.
For
Yeah.
people to see.
Yeah, yeah.
and
please
this
do.
was back in 2013, 14 or so. And after that, Adobe XD really changed the game.
Yeah.
And it stayed there for such a long time. You had only like very little icons out of which you could just do everything that is
Yeah.
out there.
It was a very non-Adobe like application, right?
Yeah.
As compared to Photoshop Illustrator, where you're
Yeah.
like, here's 20 tools, figure out what you want to do. It was pretty simple. It had a lot of potential.
It did, yeah.
But they dropped the ball somewhere. They were like, okay, we are done. And then they didn't mature. But they had lots of good features. They were like first in doing a lot of fun things.
I would actually love to get, like, I have a friend, Akanksha, who used to work at Adobe, is a designer now, changed from engineering to design, went to Swiggy, worked with Sapta, and doing great things. So someday I'll get her and we'll talk about where the ball got dropped.
Okay, in Adobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they were about to buy Figma and everything, and we were very sad about it. And then they couldn't, and we were very happy about it.
As soon as they announced that Figma
Yeah.
को खरीद रहे हैं, the Figma application start feeling
Yeah,
slow.
it started, yeah.
जैसा लग रहा है server खराब हो रहा है, कुछ something.
That was there.
Yeah.
So I remember like there was this guy who used to love XD. He sat next to me when he was visiting. I was in Mumbai at the time. And I was using Figma and I was just raving about Figma, and he tried it out. And he went from Accenture to Microsoft to Razorpay to now in Google. And just a couple of days back, he was like, you were the one who switched me to Figma. That completely changed how I'm designing things. So Figma has like had a big impact. And that's the tool for like UX designers specifically. Other people do other great things in other tools. And yes, like we can't talk about tools without talking about how AI is changing things. So at this point, I don't have a favorite tool any longer. I have Figma that does a job, and I'm trying to figure out how to do my job better now that I have access to AI.
So you're kind of figuring out the horoscope of this thing. Like which AI tool for this particular job is best.
Absolutely, and there's so many popping up every day. It's like playing whack-a-mole with like
You know, I
which
just
tool?
randomly asked in a group where it's an old group where which I used to maintain my older podcast people in,
Okay.
and it has all my let's say viewers. And there I asked, I'm getting this guy for podcast. What is one question you would want to ask? He said, someone said, 10 साल में design किधर रहेगा कुछ. I don't know tomorrow what's going
Yeah,
on.
I know. Yeah. The speed at which everything's moving in the AI world, I cannot comment on how quickly things would change. I remember we did a workshop on, hey, how can we leverage AI for like design? And then 3 months down the line, some company announced we are already doing this. And like as we were doing the workshop, people were building this thing, right? So the pace at which things are moving is really fast. And maybe that's, so when I said that I was through my years in Designit telling people, hey, do this in Figma, do this in Figma. Now my thing is branch out. Figure out which other tool can help you become a better designer. So over years, I was constantly telling people how they need to progress in Figma and things like that. And now I'm saying branch out, figure out what else is there. And coincidentally, there are people in the team who are passionate about this. So they are trying things out and they're showing me things, which is keeping me motivated. And then I in turn tell them, hey, do sessions and show this to everyone, because I want everyone to feel the power of what this can do.
Right.
But it's still at a phase where we've not figured everything out. The other day I was trying to come up with something, a pretty standard, like let's say a hotel booking app sort of a thing. And I went to some of these, I went to Puneet Chawla's YouTube channel to figure out which tool he's talked about recently. He keeps covering these tools.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this one, he's saying AI generates an entire thing by giving a prompt. And I did that. And what I got was just like, what? Like,
So
I wouldn't print
on
this.
this one, right? So we have
Yes,
we
please
are
talk
working
about
with
it.
so we have a SEO team who
Yeah.
is working on our website and everything else, and then they spend a good amount of about 2 weeks of time to build an amazing looking website. So what did I do is I was wanting to try Lovable, that tool, and I took the link, the staging link,
Yeah.
put it on Lovable, and in about 3 to 10 seconds or so, it creates a newer version which is lot better than what the team had created.
Yeah.
And I am amazed. Like, okay, how did you really do
Flabbergasted.
this?
You're
And I'm
like,
like,
this
okay,
is
Lovable is
cool.
amazing. I'll have to make use of it.
Yeah.
And I have such a kind of representation now, impression, that I go and actually try next time
Yeah.
creating by command ki like, okay, now give me a new website around this particular topic. And no,
You were
that
shit.
exactly is where it really was shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I use the same command, and the first time it did really great because it has the complete base.
Yeah.
All it had to do was just like really add flowers to it and then show it, give it to me. That's it. And the next time it comes, the same command, it does not work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't really understand as to, I mean, where exactly are the differences coming up? But those tools, what we are talking about AI at this point of time, they are not extremely dependable. And
They are not.
They're not.
Absolutely.
they really are learning.
I also, I mean, I don't know, it might be a conspiracy that I am building. So, if you're new to a system, I think they have configured it in such a way that as long as you don't convert or buy that product, it's going to give you something really good. The moment you pay towards it or maybe start using it, more frequently,
So that you
the
don't use
quality
it long.
drops.
That might be a recent thing, because I remember people saying whenever you're using an AI tool and it's not good,
Yeah.
you shouldn't stop using it because it will learn as it goes of how you talk to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So there is other side.
I think there is so much in this space right now that it's too much for us humans to figure out what
Yeah.
can be done. Like so much so that I've started doing this. I've gone to ChatGPT, and instead of telling it what I want, I tell it, hey, I want to do this. Can you give me a prompt that will be
I
good
do
for
that.
this?
I
Right?
do that. I have been doing that from past
And then
few
it
days.
pulls out, hey, assume the role of this and then do this and do
Yes.
that. So whatever
And I
are
use
the
the same prompt
Yeah.
to elaborate my work.
In- in the
we should try
recent
this.
Yeah.
in the recent update that we got for learnprompting.com,
okay.
so they said
I've
no.
not used it, but go on.
Yeah, so They said no, that doesn't work anymore. We didn't even know why it was working. So
I don't know,
the
but
engineers who are building these tools don't
Yeah.
understand them.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's there, and like we're trying to use it, and I'm trying to like figure out how we're going to get to a point where we were with Figma, let's say, where if someone knew Figma, if someone knew what they were doing, they were dangerous. Like they could do something really good if they had the skills. For someone to be able to do that with all the AI tools that are there right now, it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, the reliability is not there, the consistency is not there. When the consistency is there, by the way, I can give you an example where I got annoyed. I had a photo on my phone and it had that AI eraser thing.
The same thing. Okay.
Yeah, and there was like a dustbin behind which I was trying to erase. And every time I tried, no matter how many times I tried, it left the shadow of the dustbin there. I'm like, aren't you supposed to do random things at different times? Why don't you just get rid of this shadow? And it was consistent at that point. I was just annoyed. That's why is it not working properly, right? So whether it's consistent or inconsistent, I think there's going to be some learning for us to figure out how do we get them to do things properly. But at the end of the day, AI tools are going to be an accelerator. and they will change the way we are designing. They will again further lower the barrier of entry into design. So Figma did its own thing where
Right.
people started thinking, if I know Figma, I know design. That's going to happen once again when AI comes into the picture. You'll see PMs and
Which
CEOs
actually
and all.
brings me to a point, right? Like on
Yeah.
the same topic, I kind of believe like the tools don't make you a UX designer. Like tools usually come in a picture when they have to optimize you, make you a better person. But even without tools, you definitely can solve problems and be a UX designer.
The tools just help you communicate with people. That's
Right, yeah. And especially when it comes to
Talk
AI.
about that person who you used to work with. What was his thought on
Oh
tools?
yeah, I had so
Yeah.
this is I'm really old. I have gray hair, okay? So this was this one guy, I for a reason don't remember. He was my manager for like a couple of months. That's it. I was getting out of the organization. And then I'm seeing him creating a wireframe on Microsoft PowerPoint.
Wow, okay. Yeah.
And I am like, why would you do that? I mean, you could make use of Microsoft Essential, you could make use of pen and paper, whatsoever. And then he comes and says, but Murad, it does not matter. I mean, I don't have to go acquiring tools.
Yeah.
I know that I'll be able to solve the problem. I know that it can actually, I'm really comfortable making use of PowerPoint. So I'm going to just make use of it. And what does that tell is tools don't really matter. And yes, they definitely give you like a really good pace. You can create things a lot faster and they actually make you a better designer, but then that's not the starting point at all. I think that adds to what you just said, right? AI is gonna really make it easy for you to like come up with hundreds of ideas and create screens, create graphical elements, create animations or so. But still, that is not gonna solve the problem. Like what really is gonna solve the problem is your own mind. And
Yeah.
yeah. So
There is a like not only designers. I would like to differ there because it's founders also. Because I remember there's a guy who came to Shark Tank. It's basically Uber for Bihar. The name is Roadbase. I don't know why they call it that. And that
I
guy
get
said,
it.
Yeah, he said they said they literally asked, did you hire a UX designer and a developer? He said no, I designed it on Figma by watching YouTube.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's just AI will also help us just reduce the steps for founders and people to communicate with whatever they want to do.
So I think I'll comment
Yeah.
on the tools bit, right?
No, I'm like I'll let first.
So I'll comment on the tools bit, right? Because I do hear this a lot, and at one point I was interested in photography, and I kept hearing the camera you have doesn't matter, like what you have is the thing you should use and all that, right? And I still keep thinking about that even in the context of the tools. And what I feel is the tool that's available in the industry at that point, if it creates a low barrier to entry, people want to do it more, right? So because cameras moved from needing to have a dark room and processing a film, and they became digital, a lot more people wanted to do it. When they became better at being digital, a lot more people came in and wanted to do it. And then it got to the point where they showed up in phones.
Right.
And that maybe sort of flipped it in the sense that people didn't want to do it professionally anymore because now you could just do it anytime you wanted. But I'm seeing sort of the same thing even with design tools, right? So I like you've seen PowerPoint, I've seen people designing things in Excel. Then I know designers who are doing things who were doing things in Photoshop. There used to be I'm forgetting the name of the tool right now, but it allowed you to literally put data into the thing while you were doing mock-ups. I'm forgetting Azure. Correct, exactly. And then you moved to Sketch, and then you moved to Figma, and Figma was on the web, available to everyone. So it kept reducing the barrier to entry. A lot more people started getting in. What that eventually does is you've got a lot more people who are trying to do this right, and then consequently a lot more people get to do it right. So there will definitely be people who are not getting it right. Like so you started laughing in the example of the founder trying to do this, right? Where he thinks he's got something good, but maybe he's not thought of all the dimensions that you would as a designer, right? And that's probably why you were laughing.
Yeah, so because we kind of believe like sometimes we do things for the sake of it. Like I just want to pass through research, so I'm just gonna go ahead and then talk to a couple of people and then say I have performed.
I have done research. Yeah.
So same is the case with founders, right? Like I need to have some prototype. I don't give a rat's ass about what is research, what is strategy, what is all of that. I'm just gonna go and then maybe at some point of time while AI is there, I'll say that okay, give me like if you have used UI's art, which for a reason is I don't know for what reason it is called Wizard. you just go and give a command prompt and then it gives the screens.
Yeah.
Now what happens in this case is the entire design's approach has just become the screens.
Correct.
And what that gonna do is you haven't solved the problem. You have just convinced yourself that you have been able to
Yeah.
create
Yeah.
something.
But
That's it.
that guy's, for just saying it, that guy's was like, whole problem was मेरे को Uber बनाना है, बिहार में Uber नहीं है, तो why not just create whatever Uber has, put it on a Figma file,
Okay.
give it to the
And that's an example of a solved problem,
yeah.
right? Which in so many countries in so many ways has been solved.
Yeah.
Maybe the chances of him getting it right
Yes.
was easier,
Yes.
right? But solving a new problem with tools like this, and UiZer, by the way, is the example of the tool that failed me miserably in that example I just mentioned. Because it wanted to create something. The main flow, it was processing while it created some additional screens, and then it said, hey, you've run out of credits. So it didn't do anything. But then even in the sort of faded out thing that I was seeing, it was not a good result. So yeah, I don't know where those are heading, but maybe on the topic of tools, I'll also mention this. And I keep telling this to people who I work with. As a designer, you are only as good as the engineer working with you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you are communicating through pictures. When you do your work in Figma, when you create a prototype, when you create a video out of that prototype to explain, you are trying to tell someone, hey, here's a photograph of something I've done. Can you make it in code? Right? And so if your engineer's skills are not up to the mark, your amazing design is going to fall flat.
True.
It's not going to see the light of day. When you put it in your portfolio, you'll be like, I'm only going to show you the things I did in Figma because the thing didn't come out. So that is probably another piece that AI is bridging. Where I remember at one point when we had to communicate to an engineer that, okay, we've done this and it's possible, we used to go and pick up an example of some app or some website that did it, and we used to show it to them. With the help of AI, that is going to be eliminated because we'll be able to create and show it to them.
I have an exact example for this.
Yeah.
So we, in my application, in my company, we do a lot of stuff on the maps. Yeah, and you have to put create a path.
Okay.
So I would have to create a path at creating boxes, making them invisible and fixed path.
Yeah.
And it would be not effective to communicate with the developer. They would just say, this something is happening. But then with Figma Make, I just did it. I told Figma Make I need a screen where there is a map, and wherever I click, there should be a point. All the points should be connected in the order they are clicked in.
Yeah.
It created that, and developers understood what exactly I want.
Precisely. And so while it's bridging, it is also defining a new way for designers and engineers to work. I've always felt that a good design team is one where your designers and your front-end engineers are on the same team.
Yeah.
Right. So
I was just about to say that because you're as good as your front-end designer.
precisely, it's your front-end
No,
engineers.
but backend as well.
See, backend is definitely important in the context of us creating photos and someone recreating
The
it.
interface.
Okay.
It's that connection that needs to be stronger. I had a train of thought which I lost in this, but I will try and get it back. But I feel that is an amazing team to deliver the visuals of a product where you have front end and UX speaking the same language.
Right.
I think just because of the nature of it being engineering, front end and back end have always communicated,
Yes.
right? It's the communication between these two that's not been that good. And now I remember what I was about to say. The other analogy I love using is of an architect. If I sort of draw a parallel between a UX designer's role and an architect's role, we are both making those pictures.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
We're making those blueprints, we're making visuals to communicate what it needs to be. An architect who doesn't know the difference between cement and bricks and sand and all of that will create a building that falls.
Right. Yeah.
So whenever this conversation comes up that should designers know engineering, I say you should know enough to understand what is HTML and CSS.
Yeah.
You should know enough to know what is Swift UI. Just enough to understand how that world works. Because it is your responsibility as a designer to say the right words for your engineer to understand what needs to happen.
Right.
Otherwise, you're gonna end up talking crazy shit that is really not possible. And
You wouldn't even know whether it's possible or not.
yeah, true.
But if you know your building materials,
Yes.
which is why I'm using this analogy, if you know how things happen in those particular frameworks, you would be able to have a more logical conversation about, yes, it's not possible today, but can we push the boundary in some way? Can we get it to a point? where
And
we
you
execute?
also, as a designer, would know what your limits are. You wouldn't go
Yeah.
crossing limits and expecting like something else out of the engineers.
And I see that in both sides, right? On the one hand, people tell me, hey, if you know the limits, then you're not like going to
right.
push
No,
them.
on-
You're not
on
going to.
that front, right?
Yeah.
I kind of actually see the entire design process has to go in that particular direction, where you go through a stage where you do not have any limits whatsoever.
Mhm.
Like you're ideating, you're crazy, you're not bound by. Otherwise,
Correct.
we wouldn't
You're not
have been
bound by
going
constraints.
Mars. Yeah.
Yes.
And once I have actually seen the world from that perspective, then I'm like, okay, let's actually figure out as to what's possible right now.
Exactly.
And that I think that pathway has to be taken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this might be the reason why, like, people who are not from the engineering background in design, working as designers and not from engineering background, completely intimidated by AI because they do not understand anything at all about it. Not that we understand as having engineering background, but we kind of have an idea of, okay, this is what might be happening. But the guys from, let's say, the National Institute of Design or any other premium design institution, they have a complete
So
disconnect.
I wouldn't generalize it because I was surprised myself by it when Mid-Journey had started
Right.
to become big. I remember visual designers that I knew, and I was expecting their reaction to be, oh my god, like this is doing things that we could.
Okay.
But their reaction instead was, oh my god, now I can show them what I wanted to.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't need to spend a day to create it and show it to them.
Yeah.
I can just give a prompt, and because I know what I want, I can keep refining the prompt to get it to a point where I can take what's in my brain and put it there in front of someone, right? So I was really surprised by that outlook, and that is probably what I want to say is that as designers today, we want to look at these tools and we want to figure out what is something that I couldn't do before that I can now do and make my job easier, make my engineer's job easier, and then eventually work towards the goals of the
Rather
organization.
than just being threatened about it.
Yeah.
Actually, I was creating the logo for our podcast.
Yeah.
And I did like 10 iterations.
Yeah.
9 of them were like, what shit is this? Okay. And the 10th was,
You used AI to do
yes.
this, okay.
And the 10th was, what
Wow.
the
Yeah.
hell this just did? And now the problem is, the AI hasn't done such a perfect job. I cannot recreate it on Figma. It is acting like its own brain.
Yeah.
To replicate that is again a problem for art. Maybe in design it might be easier.
So this problem you bring up
Yeah.
also in my mind it brings up this other point of workflows. So how are workflows going to change? Because
Yeah.
this example that you gave, where the AI helped you generate a raster image, now you're thinking, how do I make it a vector? Because you want to be able to move it around in Figma and use it. There's going to be an AI tomorrow that does it, and that does it really well. So your new workflow is not trying to manually vectorize it, but use this other tool to sort of do it, right? So workflows will also mature as part of this whole thing.
And I think a lot of imposterity again will come in like, what exactly
What am
was
I
I
doing?
supposed to do
Yeah,
again?
yeah. And it's even more important with all of this happening for you to know your core subject better.
Right, yeah.
I keep remembering the scene from Three Idiots where he talks about handmade cookies. So in a world where you've got industries creating cookies by the millions, handmade cookies have a different value. And it's the skill of that person who knows how to make that cookie.
Right.
That's the more important part of the equation, right? So when all of this happens and the dust settles and AI is everywhere, you having good core skills are going to help you, the industry, and everything that you're doing.
So on the other front, right? Like if we have been looking at the fact that how is this helping the designers also understand a little bit from the front end development? So while working on the scale 2, we have got into situations where a lot of times the code is generated using AI.
Yeah.
Now, what happens in these particular cases is the code is so different and it has so many lines of codes that at some point of time, when you want to bring a change to it or maybe optimize it right, you have no clue which line to change.
Yeah.
And that actually is more
Of a
problematic
Yeah.
than
Yeah,
just
I've-
going ahead and then writing a code by
Yeah,
yourself.
I've heard developers talk about it
Yeah.
saying, agar if I needed like 5 hours to clean up my bugs,
Yeah,
which I
yeah,
wrote and
yeah.
I had to fix it, and if I had to take a code which was created by AI, I would spend 5 days on fixing it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Although you
Sure.
created it for me in like a
Couple of
minute,
seconds or minutes or whatever, yeah.
and I took like 5 hours to write it and then fix it another 5 hours. अगर मेरे को AI का code मिलेगा in 1 minute, I'll take 5 days to fix it.
Yeah. And also because the number of lines of codes that you should see that the AI creates, right? It's not optimized.
No.
And
Isn't there an AI that does that?
I think so. I think
That
there is a
optimizes
cleanup that is
code
required.
which is bad.
Yeah. Which I don't know.
Is
Again,
there?
adding
I
layers
think
to
so.
it.
I'll tell you the
Yeah.
problem here. So Almas told me this exact thing a few days ago, and I was like, okay, interesting. And then I faced this problem. What happened is I have a lot of images in my portfolio,
Yeah.
and the AI, lovable, set
Yeah.
them a certain way. It was sourcing it from one direction, putting it there,
Yeah.
and I was able to debug this and change the image wherever I wanted. And in the meanwhile, I put a prompt and did some other change. Now, the next time I went to that file to make a change, like by myself on VS Code, I could not recognize the file.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It changed everything. The way the images were being
Yeah,
imported.
yeah.
So I hard relate to that is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think these things, again, we are in the transition, right? So these things will become mature. I think it's lovable that now also gives you an option to pinpoint at a certain element and
Right,
say
yeah.
change just this.
Has always
yes.
been doing that.
It's been doing that,
Yeah.
right? So that's an example of something that maybe when they conceptualized it the first time,
Yeah.
they didn't have. And they realized, you know what, people need to do this. So I think all of the problems we are discussing, someone's going to hear them and someone's going to start solving them.
You just spoke of vectorizing images.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
there.
a good. It's there.
Oh, it's this.
There, I tried it. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So
It's
it will
not
get better is what.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are
if you take a-
definitely-
I thought he just came up with a new
No,
idea. and
no.
we
In the world of
concept-
AI, you are not coming up with new ideas.
Yeah. And one more thing, I was actually thinking about this.
Yeah.
You said by the time the guy you watched on YouTube for AI tools,
Uh-huh.
right? So
Puneet.
Puneet Chawla.
Puneet.
Yeah.
now we are at a point, if you're watching it on YouTube, it's already 6 months old. It's like stock
Sure.
market right now.
Yeah.
Like by the time someone tells you that, oh, maybe you should buy this stock,
Is
probably
there.
the people have already made money on it. Same thing
Right.
with the AI tools. If you're watching it on YouTube, it's 3 months old already.
And too many thoughts, but I think the one that just recently came to my mind is that at senior levels, because I recently just heard this in a conversation I was in about designing something, and they just threw the sentence, the dreaded sentence. Now you have AI tools. You can probably just do 2-3 flows like in a go, right? I think we have to come up with a new vocabulary to discuss what that means, because these tools are not as good. They may seem like magic when you're trying to write an email, but they're not that. There is a lot more effort that will. Your development example, right? Your person, your engineer knows, okay, I know how to write code, I know how to write good code, and I can see that AI hasn't done its job, and to fix it, it's going to take me a lot more time. That same thing applies to if you're doing screens or something like that, right? So at senior levels, we need to be able to have that conversation, because I think the decision makers are not the ones who are using the tools day in and day out and realizing how good or bad they are. So we have
They
to
are
come
the
in
ones who
between.
talk
Yeah, they're the
about
ones who
AI.
talk and say, hey, just do this. Like it's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's-
yeah.
That's it, right? So we have to come in and we have to really educate. But in order to do that, we have to know. So at our levels, one of the responsibilities we'd have is to try them out. Because until I tried out UI Zert myself, looking at Puneet Chawla's video, I was like, wow, I don't need to open Figma tomorrow. And then I did it and I'm like, what? What is
Oh, yeah,
this? right?
It's not that great.
Yeah, and the other thing I remembered was, so your example of the engineer saying, hey, this is code which is too much and it's going to take me a lot longer to go through it. One common use case all of us have been doing is writing emails, right? But the most optimal way I have found in writing that is first I write my own thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
And
You say this to me.
Yeah.
right, I write my own thing. I know the essence of what I want to communicate. And I've been writing good emails, right? Even in the past. With AI, I ask it to now improve it in whatever way, right?
Right.
So if it's an angry email, I say make it less angry. If it's too long, which I've written, I'll be like, can you make it short? Once it does that, I go through it and I make sure that it's not lost the essence of what I want to say,
Yeah.
right? So this is an example of where my skill of email writing is extremely important for me to produce a good output
Yeah.
and decide what to keep and what not to keep in the world of AI.
Right.
So this applies to any field that you want to do it. People are talking about nano banana now, which
Yeah.
is like right too good
It's
at
gonna replace
modifying images.
Photoshop.
There was the video VO3, I think, is the latest one. All of this requires someone who knows how to edit photos correctly,
Yeah,
what to tell it, what to do. When it doesn't do it right, you need to know what it's not done right
Yeah.
and course correct, right? So it is still, again, I'm sort of circling back, still in transition. And we have to be careful in how much we commit with all of this.
Right. So there was this one designer who came to me and then said, I, by the way, work with a lot of designers.
Yeah.
Maybe in this particular year, I might have spoken to at least about 1,200, 1,400 designers.
Wow.
That's
the
what
job.
I do. Yeah.
That's the job.
So there's this one person who comes and says that, Murad, I lost my job because my product manager said that, ab se main kar lega sab kuch. And I'm like, how did he come up with this idea?
Yeah.
I mean, does he know what your role is? See, what really happens in this case is you yourself have been convincing the entire organization that your output
Yeah.
has only been in the form of pages,
Yeah.
in the form of
Yeah.
screens.
Yeah.
And people have not realized it as to there is so much of thought process
Correct.
that is to be put up.
Correct.
So that kind of representation has to change. That has to come from you as
Yeah.
a UX designer, and people have to start realizing it. We for a reason I kind of say this. UX designers are seen up as people who can churn screens,
Yeah.
put colors to it,
Yeah.
make it appear pretty.
Yeah.
And if that's what the founders, the business owners also perceive of it, then that's exactly what they're trying to replace as well.
Yes. Yes.
And it makes it very easy, right? Like you give them Figma Make and then Figma Make में command डालो and then you will get the screens.
Yeah,
The job
yeah.
is done. So I think it requires a lot of education, sensitization that UX designers are supposed to give about their real roles. And it's really mandatory. Otherwise, we always will be left out to be the people who can
Yeah.
enable certain tools and get away from them.
I think I'll just add small things to whatever you said. It's very important for the designer to prove that people are relying on him for thinking and not designing.
Yeah.
You have to make them aware where your thought and your brain finish the task, because you could be designing anything and you would not finish the task. The point to getting to the result is what you have to demonstrate. You gave me this problem and you do not have a solution for this and I solved it.
Problem ये है ना कि people don't give us problems. Lot of times they come up with ideas
I
like
need the end
okay,
result of this.
Yeah, so many a times we actually don't get new projects. We get revamped projects, right?
Yeah.
Why exactly do we do it is because we are not introduced to something which is freshly there so that we can solve it, because nobody has built that faith in us. And what really happens in this case is, okay, there is existing something there. Why don't you make it appear pretty? And in order to make it pretty, again, that's not a problem, right? You just add some nice colors to it, add some creativity to it, and then get away. Now, what's happening with respect to design leaders? I'm supposing that many design leaders are facing it, and if you're not facing it, then you're not the proper leader. That's what I believe in. You've got to really face this fight, where you have to let people know that you're not here to make things appear pretty, because making things appear pretty is really not achieving the objectives all the time, nor is it solving the problem. You got to really go beyond that, figure out as to what were you even trying to achieve, why exactly are you trying to revamp, why was I not introduced in the new project altogether, and then maybe get to that base of it. up until the time we get to that particular stage, I kind of believe like we will always be on the surface. And I'm saying this because I speak to a lot of designers, and it comes to a stage where people are like, okay, no, I still feel like I'm expected to create screens, not have ownership towards things, maybe deliver what is required, maybe get replaced by an AI at some point of time. And these are really easy reasons for you to position yourself and then say that I am a dispensable person. And for that reason, you need to really make your grounds really strong.
My next question actually is related to that. Probably a lot of designers feel very low at points, like when they're facing such problems. What do you do, like not in terms of work, let's say apart from work, when you are feeling low and unmotivated, what do you do?
I don't know.
Try
I mean,
Figma,
I've
mate.
definitely definitely felt. I think diverting your energies to something else. So I remember someone. We keep connecting. Was a designer. She's doing a lot more things now. But on one of the calls, we were speaking about imposter syndrome, and she told me this one thing which stuck with me, and maybe that's relevant even when you're feeling down as a designer, is putting your work out there. Not your project work, but just doing something for the sake of doing it. So if you like creating screens, you just create screens and share it with the world. If you like to research and solve a problem, you just do that for the sake of it and you share it with the world. So it, I think, internally gives you this confidence to come out of that imposter syndrome mindset. And I'm guessing even when you're down and not feeling so good about it, either do that or just do something else. Take a break and do something you enjoy, and then
I
come
think it
back
would
and do
be
this.
too timid to tell ki like, okay, stop doing what you're doing, right? Because many a days you just don't have to like it. You just have to get up, just like you said, utho 4 baje apna kaam karo, dekho ki okay, that day passes and then things are not changing. Okay, do it the next day, things are going to change. And maybe you will end up realizing as to maybe this was not the right way to go about looking at it also. But can you really enjoy what you do all the time? I don't think so.
On the other half, like I've met people who have had bad relationships because of they like design too much and they're not giving time to their partners.
Wow. Are you talking about UX designers or artists?
No, designers.
Designers.
There are designers who are
Because
artists.
artists do that.
No, I have
Get
met,
in the zone.
I have met designers, and I would love to take their name, but I don't want to disclose their personal life. But they have faced such problems. They are so good, such artists as a designer, and such artists in their work. They are immersed into it, and their work is beautiful. But then,
By any chance, is he talking about me?
but artists at a
Do you think she does not have any complaints? What are you talking about?
I'm sure everybody has complaints.
But I think, so before we move on to another question, I do want to, there's one thing that's constantly coming to my mind, which is related to what we were discussing earlier, which is getting comfortable in the problem space. So this conversation that you brought up about how people look at us as people who make things pretty, we all have to acknowledge that that is a big part of our deliverable, right?
Yeah.
If what we are producing, the aesthetic usability effect, right? If what we are producing is ugly, we've not done our job correctly.
Yeah.
So
but that's not the only thing.
correct. That's not the only thing. And so the other thing that I tell people is, apart from knowing your skill, the most important thing for you as a designer, other professions may write it in soft skill, which is communication.
Yeah.
But as a designer, you need to put it in hard skills.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that you need to know, you need to have a hold on. And it is in the form of storytelling. We had a very good storyteller on our team, and I tried to learn as much as I could from him. I am still figuring it out. It is in the form of walking people through your thought process, because like when you were saying, if people just see the outcome and they don't understand how you got to it, it leads to a situation where they felt, hey, you just made this game,
Yeah.
right? And that's why your PM thinks that I can just do it
Right.
in Figma Make or whatever.
Like he said, he talks to a lot of designers. I speak to the same when it comes to reviewing their portfolios and looking at their work.
Yeah.
So one of the major things that I get to see is unstructured portfolios with poor storytelling skills, just the final outputs. Um, when you ask them to walk me through a certain work, they only talk about the activities they have been doing. And so many DCMs. Like, why did you even need to do so many data comprehension models? Why didn't you stick with one? So, and a lot of people also ask me from the point of, what do you mean storytelling? What do you understand? I mean, how should I even go ahead with that?
And I think most of the times when we talk to people, right, they kind of believe like design process is extremely streamlined. And you see, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, and then suddenly everything is just achieved.
You EDIPT,
Yeah.
empathize, ideate, prototype, test, define, prototype, test. Yeah, and that's the sequence they think you have to
do for everything.
Yeah, and when you go and ask them as to why did you really build the personas out there, they're like, but karna hota hai na wo. Like you have to do it.
I've heard that before. Yes.
Yeah, and why did you actually create those low-fi designs, mid-fi designs, as well
And
as
then,
high-fi designs, right?
yeah.
But that's how you're supposed to come to the solutions, right? Yeah, so this is really common. And I don't think we have spent time in identifying as to why is it even needed. Like, why do we build personas? अरे वो बाद में देख लेंगे, पहले personas बना लेंगे. So that has actually percolated to almost everything that is out there. And at this point of time, we feel like our roles are more on the lines of structured. We got to just do this, problem solve हो जाएंगे खुद से.
Abhi, just got a thought that at this point, do we consider like Figma make lo-fi?
No, it is extremely high fidelity, right? Because it's interactive, you can do things with it.
But it's easier. Lo-fi ka definition is what's easiest to make also.
No, so this is how I define it. I don't know how the world looks at it. Low fidelity actually means that the amount of faith that you have on that particular system to exactly translate when the developer develops it or engineers it, right? So I don't think it's on the amount of time that you spend on. I think it's the way how it reflects how the last solution looks like.
For me, it's like the amount of details it has.
Yeah.
For me, it would be, this is very specific to me again, but how much ever time I have spent with it would lead to me being biased towards that solution. So for me, lo-fi is something that I spend less time with, so I can just move on to the next one easier.
I think you have to look at it from the other side as well, right?
Yeah,
the person who's going to look at that, when they look at it, and that's why I tell a lot of people a lot of times that in your initial conversations with your clients or stakeholders, take low fidelity mockups, even if it's like paper pen sketches, because your conversations will be very different. Because the moment you put a decent pixel and a color there, their comment is going to be, why is it this red and not that red?
Feedback, right?
So it's like you're really thinking about that communication bit which I was talking about. Like, what are you communicating to them and what are you expecting as a response is where you can sort of figure this out.
That's where the part comes, no? The UI part, which we
The CDT.
detailed,
Yeah.
the
so
detailed and the structural part.
we have been experimenting on a process called CDT, which is concept design, detail design, and then CTD,
Sure.
concept, template, and detail design.
Okay.
So what it does is, in the concept design standpoint, you don't really care about how much of a detailing that you add.
Yeah.
You don't even care about how the brand looks like.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Makes
So
sense.
it's all about just like you have been given about 2 hours of time and you have to tell the entire story in a tangible, representative
Sure.
way. You just use like competitor mein ye ho raha hai, I'll just take the screen, put it over here. That's it. And then you go into the template design where you have a structural representation of it.
Sure.
But only templates, like unique views are there.
Yeah.
And then when that is signed off, everybody agrees to it, there is a value seen that the engineering team is waiting for it, is when we move into the detailed design.
So that you don't have to spend a lot of time in perfecting your final screens, and at the end you go and talk to them.
And then you get feedback which changes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's how I see the process, right?
Yeah.
Communication, have those conversations. The thing I was saying earlier about being in the problem space, there's a designer, she's a service designer on the team. She is on a project for a very long time now, but what I love about how she's been executing, most of the service designers that I've met pick up this artifact or a service blueprint
Yeah.
and say that that's what we have to create as service designers. No matter what's the problem, I'm going to create a blueprint. In her time with this client, she never even mentioned the words service design
Okay.
throughout the engagement. She was there to solve a problem. I like to think of it as Batman's utility belt, where you can pull out anything and throw it at the problem. So, depending on what's happening, she would figure out whether this needs to be a whiteboarding exercise or just a conversation or a presentation to make people understand, come back to the drawing board. She's not done a single blueprint as part of this, but she's done journeys. She's created a flow, she's explained this is what we think we'll do, etc., etc., right? So it was a service design problem, but she did not go with a blueprint in her hand and say, hey, this is what I'm going to give you in the end, right? And that's how we need to look at it in the UX design space as well, the work that we're doing. It should not be like you said, empathize, ideate, do all of that, and that's it. You figure out what is needed. So teams could be structured where you're right, someone could just need screens, and that's more of an organization and how they're set up, where they have dedicated visual designers, they have researchers, they have someone else. So you need to figure out what is expected from you and work accordingly. But definitely feel comfortable in the problem space, because the longer you can hold people there, the longer you can have meaningful conversations earlier in the process to get to a point where when you do the final delivery, people are not like, why did we make this?
Right.
So that is the important point I wanted to make sure.
So communication, storytelling.
100%.
By the
Very
way, we
much.
have been hosting Wavemakers Connect on 14th September.
Okay.
And we have an interesting topic on storytelling, which is hosted by me.
Nice.
So yeah, I think we have three particular topics that we are discussing on. One is how exactly founders perceive of user experience design
Okay.
from an employer's perspective.
Okay.
That's one conversation which is taken up by Pradeep Nayak from NX Unique.
Okay.
And the other one is how exactly AI has been changing the deep generalist representation of a freelancer
Yeah, sure.
UX designer. That's one. And the third one is, of course, the most important one.
The storytelling.
The storytelling part of it. Yeah.
You remember it used to be a big conversation. Gamification used to be a big conversation.
Yeah.
Completely got out of the mainstream suddenly.
Really, I don't think so. I mean, gamification has the most persuasion skill capabilities than anything else can ever have.
Yeah, but designers suddenly forgot about it. You're right. It's important.
Or
but
maybe is it normalized? Like, you just have to know it.
I think it got oversimplified.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the word gamification and you're like, leaderboard, points,
I was
done.
gonna think of that.
Yeah.
Leaderboard.
Right?
Yeah, no, yeah.
solve
Yeah,
that.
I have another colleague I've worked with who has very strong opinions on this aspect of gamification. Again, being comfortable in the design space, the moment someone throws this word at you, try and figure out why is gamification needed, right? Who was I working with recently? I think there was some project in which it was around training. It was around business process outsourcing, right? So call center sort of things. And the conversation was, how do we train them better? How do we enable them with AI to train them better and all that, right? And one of the words that shot up was gamification. And then I remembered what my colleague said. In this particular instance, as an example, the people who you are talking about, they are not motivated by having fun doing this thing. They're motivated by the money that they're getting and their effectiveness on the job. So introducing a leaderboard just for the sake of doing it is not going to have that much of an impact. So really think about why gamification is coming into the picture and what you're going to be able to do with it. Cred is a famous example of those coins that we all have,
Right.
and we don't know what to do with. That is someone who said, let's do gamification, let's give people coins. So really think through what is it that's going to achieve, right?
In that scenario, the game is life and making money.
Yeah, you're already motivated. You're like, hey, I'm going to get a paycheck. I need to do my job right. If I don't do it, I'll be fired. And if that job requires, right, if that job requires me to do this training and it's going to make things better, I have to do it. I want to do it. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to be on a leaderboard somewhere.
Right, yeah. Or maybe you just have a crown telling that this is the best employee of this month. Yeah.
So let's move on to a little lighter topic.
Sure.
What media are you consuming these days?
What media am I consuming? I I think YouTube is that one app which has the most battery consumption on my phone.
Okay.
Because I think I'm on YouTube almost 24/7.
Do you pay for
Let's
premium?
make it 22/7.
What do you watch?
Okay.
Shorts?
No, I don't watch shorts. I actually watch videos on 2x speeds.
Oh, I see.
But it's in all genres. So I love tech. I'm a geek that way. Recently started gaming with a couple of friends, playing some real-time strategy things.
Which one?
Age of Empires.
Oh, okay.
For the first time, I used Discord for its actual reason. I had no clue it did that. I was on design communities on Discord. I was like, why are you on Discord? Slack could do it, etc., etc. And then I launched a game one day, and Discord had a completely different thing to give me.
Yeah.
I could see all my friends in front of me. I could see who's speaking, who's not. So many things were there. I'm like, what? Discord is used for this? So I watch a lot of those tips and tricks videos on those games because AI has been killing me somehow in those games. I need to figure that out.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
AI has been killing you the
Yeah.
games.
I mean, if you play against AI,
Oh, acha, okay.
that AI is so good.
Right.
oh.
Two generations before, I could beat that AI in my sleep, and now it's like, what?
No, they let you beat that AI. Even back then
Previously.
it was good.
Probably.
Yeah, because the chess bots were
Yeah.
beating the grandmasters very bad. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, so I'm watching those kind of videos. Then there's design content that keeps showing up. Like I said, I have to stay in touch with what's the latest. So anything around AI tools and design.
So what
those kind of
happens
things.
is we consume Instagram,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any other apps, but these are the two apps
For
that
sure.
I consume.
थोड़ा सा
So
TikTok
क्या
है.
होता है कि people realize that oh मैं Instagram पे इतना ज़्यादा हूँ, let me disconnect.
Yeah.
They uninstall Instagram and they go to YouTube and watch shorts.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
I think that mustn't everything. Yeah. Instagram is my guilty thing as well. Like I'm on reels randomly looking at stuff.
But that's the thing about the usage trend, right? In the recent times, that's what we have seen, that anything that comes in the form of a micro video,
Yeah.
a short form video, that's like the most consumed setup
Yes.
at this point of time.
But YouTube, no. I feel like YouTube is the perfect use case for short form videos because YouTube, when you are creating YouTube videos, YouTube tells you what works is how to videos. How to, when people are looking, the most, Google is a search engine. People come to YouTube to ask, ye kaise karna hai? How do I do this?
Yeah.
So how to videos are the thing. And most of the comments in long form how to videos is, this could have been finished in 10 seconds, brother. So now...
Yeah, that's what AI is helping now, right?
Yeah.
With let me summarize this video for you here as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But I came to watch a video on how to do it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
someone
Right.
doing it.
Yeah.
So transcript doesn't really...
I like to say that YouTube did what Wikipedia technically couldn't. Like it has created this library of
In a video format.
it's a video library of all the content you need in the world.
So now
Do
when
things.
you search for a thing, you get a shot for it. I
Yeah.
am so happy. Yeah,
So let me just watch the shot.
yeah, 10 seconds. But then it works that
I
way.
don't believe in
enjoyed
shorts
both
though, for
ways.
some reason. I don't believe in shorts for looking at how to, because I kind of believe like they are only there to grab the attention and they don't give the
No,
information.
but there are
be.
some good people in the world.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I must have
How
come
do you,
across
how
good
do you
shots.
say
though. Yeah.
who is who?
You kind of start...
By watching the long form video.
Again,
Then you realize, okay, the shot is
So
good.
quick.
or you find the guy,
Yeah.
you have a go-to guy for, I know, let's say Linux Tech Tips.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
he is a good guy, or MKBHD for phone reviews.
Yeah,
Or there's a few channels for bikes, for cars, and so whenever there is a shot by that guy, I know this guy will just tell me
Yep.
the right thing.
But I think that's gonna take a little time for you to learn through, remember that that's
You need
the
to
right
know that,
person.
yeah, it's not for new people.
For example, for bikes and cars, Shumi.
I don't know
is
the
a-
YouTuber,
yeah.
but sure.
So people will know this.
Yeah.
But Shumi is a great guy, just to the point. He'll tell you exactly what you need to look into. So his shots are perfect. He has a great media group that cuts it perfectly from a
Yeah.
podcast. Would love to do that for ours also. But yeah,
That's how it's gonna be.
yeah.
It's always best.
So YouTube is my majority media consumption. Instagram, Twitter, those places I live in. And then when it's family time, I think Netflix, we've been watching some things. Amazon Prime has introduced some archaic rules of only these many devices and only these many. So I've stopped watching stuff on Prime. Hotstar is still pretty decent.
I feel like in our family, for example, YouTube is still the thing we watch
Yeah.
when we are with family.
Yeah.
Tarak Mehta is...
Oh yes, I know.
Yeah? Okay.
I think I might make a controversial statement. There are a lot of fans of Tarak
Tarak
Mehta.
Mehta, yeah,
I have never liked it.
On my in-laws' side, they do like the show. In fact, my wife's grandmother, who's not with us anymore, she used to love it, and I used to just sit with her to watch it, and I was like,
You can.
you know, there's that, there's me, but I used to be like, okay, this is weird, but I'm watching it. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know how this problem gets solved. This random society is getting together to do something.
Because we are not at the stage, we were not the target audience. My father looks
I kind of actually look at that from that standpoint. Like people who are old, people who are maybe about 30, 40 years of age, they kind of like that.
Yeah, I have also seen some Gen Zs who make memes out of it. They love it so
Memes
much.
memes
they
is a different
connect with
aspect,
it
right?
so much
Yeah.
that anything in their life, they would connect it back to that
Babita
clip.
ji aata लेते हैं क्या?
I don't know who is who. They connect it back, and I have seen pretty
Yeah.
decent number of youngsters also liking it.
meme culture is different. Meme culture does it just for the sake
उनको
of
content
memes.
पता
Yeah.
होना चाहिए ना to
हाँ,
connect it.
but they have
Which
been
means
forced
they
to
have
watch
They have
it.
been watching.
See,
it.
I do not.
There are age groups for sure who
Yeah.
do consume this.
But I know exactly
yeah.
what Anurag was to eat for his lunch. So I didn't. I'm not the target audience. My mother was. So I
Kasauti
watched it.
Zindagi?
Huh.
Oh,
So
okay.
So
I know
remember
Kasauti
the
Zindagi,
character.
yes.
Yeah, of
so
course.
it's that children grew up with it. So now they know it.
Yeah, क्योंकि सासू के birthday is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
Back.
Yeah. She's
new
back.
episodes. From being a minister, she's back to being Tulsi Virani once again.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah. she's
Yeah.
The,
heard.
the Empire
I
Strike.
saw her standing like that. Also.
I
Yeah.
want to watch it now.
Yeah.
My mom's here. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it.
We have to. We have to make our moms watch it and watch it पीछे से so that
Yeah,
like
so that
reminds
we
us of our
cannot
childhood.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not.
It's basically the Empire Strikes Back now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What apart from design are you obsessed with right now?
The gaming thing I was saying.
Yeah.
So much so that the others have stopped responding to me on Discord. I'm like, can we please play?
I am not sure about the lingo of the gaming. How do you play on Discord? Is it the system or?
So Discord
I
is
think
still a
it's-
chat thing,
Yeah.
Huh.
but you do a regular call the way you do on a Teams call.
Yeah.
But it recognizes that you're playing a game and then it creates an overlay on top of it.
Hmm.
So even though you're not in the same room,
You could be connected through any system, is it?
yeah, you play it on your
PlayStation.
Windows laptop or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure it has PlayStation and Xbox things as
PlayStation
well.
also? Oh, okay.
I'm sure.
PlayStation.
But we're doing like
Okay.
PC gaming.
Okay.
And so it shows everyone's video. We can hear each other from this while we are playing the game. So it's almost like we are sitting in the same room and playing it,
Mm.
but we are at our own
Just
homes.
imagine you're doing something, let's say you're doing something on Figma and you're in a Teams call with someone and Teams recognizes, oh, he's using Figma, he'll probably want to share screen. So it's stuff like that.
Something of that sort.
Yeah.
So
we used to have
Discord.
multiplayer where we used to just connect
It's
at people.
the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Is it?
Yeah, so the games still have that feature, but we just don't use it because Discord just feels natural to like come, connect, see each other,
Correct,
play.
okay.
We say how Discord became famous is very interesting and it solved a very good problem.
Uh-huh.
It's just CS:GO and CS Counter-Strike 1.6
Yeah.
when you're in a competitive match would not let the people communicate
Hmm.
in the team so
Yeah,
that
yeah.
after they're dead they can't tell where I died, who killed me and all that.
Acha.
That was the game's intention.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So after they're dead, you're dead, so you can't talk. So
people started using Discord.
Discord to tell, अच्छा मैं यहाँ मारा है, मेरे को इसने मारा, इस गन से मारा, so that
Okay.
the
Yeah,
other
छुप के
guy.
बैठा हुआ है.
हाँ,
You be
yes.
careful, okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't
Yeah.
know. But it's big. I mean, there's even on the tech side, there are interesting case studies in Discord and how they manage the amount of volume.
Hmm.
To a point, Microsoft wanted to buy them, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, the gaming thing is a big thing that I'm doing. Consuming podcasts mostly when I'm doing something like driving or
Driving.
like drying the clothes at home or
That's
something
the
like that.
primary thing I hear people say
Yeah.
as to when do they consume podcasts, and they're driving,
Usually when I'm driving.
traveling.
Yeah.
Although we are running a podcast and this is counterproductive, I would really appreciate and tell people to try to get bored. Getting bored is good for your
Yeah.
muscles. Just like
I keep thinking
Yeah.
about that. So just yesterday I pulled up, I had the Steve Jobs ka Walter Isaacson ka book, which when I went to the US, I had taken it with me as inspiration. I'm anyway inspired by the guy, interested in his story and whatnot. I think I reached the US and a couple of weeks in, I stopped reading it. That bookmark was still there where it was. and I picked it up now. So after 2010, in 2025 is when I picked it up yesterday, because I was like, I am done. I don't want to watch any more videos. I don't want to do anything else. So I just put on some like classical music on a speaker and like, let me read. So since yesterday, I've been reading a little bit. I don't know if I'm obsessed with it
I
yet.
connect with this, the boredom word, because I have a kid and I hear a lot about them wanting to get bored.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what, the world says around
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Let
Make
them
sure
get
your children
bored.
get bored. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They will become more creative.
Correct.
They will solve problems. They'll do things you wouldn't imagine they would.
Except he just throws tantrums. Yeah, when he.
That's
gets-
the
I think
initial. That's when you have
then he
just
will-
gotten him out of,
Yeah.
the screens. Perhaps
Yeah.
give him some time. He will get into it.
And where have we got this knowledge from? Reels.
Reels.
Yes. Reels tell us that people should, yes, children should get bored.
Anyway, Ibrahim, if you're watching this after 12 years of time, we love you. You're an amazing kid, okay? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
but
trying
I've,
to be
I've
good
heard of
parents.
that. Like the value of being bored, having nothing to do.
Yeah.
I want to get there. I chose to read a book because maybe that's the closest I have to like.
Imagine like 10,
Lo-fi.
15 years ago, we did not have Instagram, we did not have Reels.
Yeah.
What certain questions which our friends asked, and the first thing we had to say was, "Oh, I read books."
Yeah.
Now I don't think
Even
there is
then
a.
we were lying, but
No, I
No, you
used
are a
to.
reader?
I used to. Now I don't. I
I'm
mean,
not
it's
a big
reduced.
reader. I've never been a big reader.
Mm.
But I feel like reading is that one activity that creative piece, it actually works there because you are reading something and using your own imagination to think about what it is.
yeah.
So I can no longer read a Harry Potter book without thinking about Daniel Radcliffe, right?
Characters,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I know, I mean, in my mind, that's Harry Potter, that's Hagrid, that's Dumbledore. The show is coming out which is going to change that. And
For the
you're
next
gonna have to-
generation, probably.
There's a show coming out on Harry Potter now, right?
Right.
And they've got all new characters.
New characters.
And all of the old
It will-
ones,
it
so
will-
many of them are dead now.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very difficult to see a new Harry Potter and a new Dumbledore.
For
and a new
us, but for
McGonagall.
that kid, it will be, yahi to hai.
Probably. But if a kid comes to me today and tells me they've not read Harry Potter and they're interested, I tell them don't watch anything.
Yeah.
Read it first.
Read it first.
Use your imagination, enjoy it, think about what you are, what you are creating in that world, and then maybe take time out to do it. So yeah.
So you get back from school or college, and the thing you had in your mind at the back of your head is, अब जाके मैं ये book पढूंगी.
Yeah.
मुझे लगा
I-
Alif Laila. No?
Alif Laila.
Yeah.
Did you say yeah?
Oh my
That
god.
used to be a thing on weekends for sure.
Yeah.
Talwar-e-Suleimani.
Oh wow. I have never watched it.
Yes.
You haven't?
Oh, it used to be a big thing.
I really, matlab, those shows from DD National, which did not run for a long time, by the way.
You used to watch?
Yeah.
Oh.
My mother used to watch and I used to
It was
watch.
that time where Shaktiman was there. There was
Yes.
You're a
Captain
Gen Z, is it?
Yom or something.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking this question.
I was born poor. So
But-
Poor.
I did not have money to pay for DD.
Acha.
That's not the question.
I also did not have a I used to sneak into a neighbor's house and then watch through the window. Yeah, but sure.
Yeah. Actually, I was not that poor, but take it.
Oh my god.
Because I was the guy with the TV which everyone
Oh
used to
yeah,
watch, so-
definitely not.
The
poor.
definition of being
Yeah.
poor is skewed in your head.
Okay. No, I need to go
But
see
those
a
are the-
therapist, yeah.
Those are the shows you were.
Yeah, I was
You grew up
introduced to, and it went on to become Hatim. It went on to
Yeah.
become, and then
Yeah.
Power Rangers. It grew, but
Yeah.
I was born as a old guy, and then I became a Gen Z as I grew up. Is what I. Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't
Benjamin
make
Button.
sense.
It will make sense. No, because
He
we.
grew up watching the shows we did, so he
Yeah.
was
Okay.
he was old in that sense.
Yeah, okay.
I got introduced to the phone a very natural way after I became a certain
Okay.
adult-ish is
Yeah.
what I would say. So I got that time.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So I am at that sweet spot where okay, the technology was coming, but we did not want to invest in it, so I
Yeah.
got it late. Other people had it, I did not have it. So even though I am with the generation, I was a Gen Z, but I did not have access to it, or
Yeah.
rather, we chose not to have the access to it. But it's the podcast is not about me. So.
What are you watching?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really have no clue. I don't. I think something goes on the screen while I'm working and I'm like, वो होते रहता है, I don't know. Just something has to
Were
be
you
there.
watching a
so
show
that I
or a
know.
movie or something
Never.
actively?
Nothing.
No,
It's
I-
always something that's going on the
Some
screen.
Where's that
random thing.
YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube.
Yeah, I do that when I'm working as well. Like I want to like keep listening to something.
Yeah.
Maybe we all need to see therapists. But, but yeah, I mean, we do make it a point to watch something. Like me and my wife, we watch a show before we go to sleep, just so that we are connected through the pop culture things that are happening.
I think I watch it because I kind of put it on my iPad on the second screen and then I watch it because that tells me that I'll have to be attentive to my screen so that I can ignore something properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's white
It's a
noise for
different-
you.
Oh yeah, I can never function like that. I need
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
To
मेरे साथ भी ऐसा ही होता है, but this needs to be something in the background to shut off other things.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I'll start yawning.
but then I keep having this FOMO of like, oh my god, I missed something in the video.
Oh, acha.
And so I started putting it in my watch later list, and that's now 4,000 videos long.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm never gonna get through this.
If you want, I'll give you a Spotify playlist that I have custom made.
Yeah.
It's called Deep Tunes.
Okay.
And it's just ambient music, which is good music.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay.
And you can just put that on and have.
I've tried. I mean, I do music at times as well.
It sounds
Yeah.
like the music you would hear in a mall or a lift.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to run away from it.
Yeah.
No, you have heard one of them when I was showing you the podcast intro.
Oh okay.
Acha.
So it's that kind.
The only thing that I remember is harmonica.
Yeah, that was
We need to add that.
whatever that was good. You need to show that to her.
I need
It
to
was
know
good.
what that is now.
Yeah.
It was
I keep hearing
impromptu. It was good.
अरे ऐसे एक्ट हुआ था ना, ऐसे हाथ गया, ऐसे निकला, फिर I'm like, कहाँ से आया music?
Wow.
So that happened. I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's
this.
doing.
Nice.
It's the
Nice.
power of live music.
Okay, yeah.
Because those instruments actually move something in you.
Maybe that's what we need to work.
Yeah.
A live band next to us
Yes.
while we're focused on work.
Yeah.
Keep going, guys. Keep going.
Okay, this is motivating. The same thing, yeah.
Interns hire करेंगे
Yeah.
इसके लिए.
Right.
Yeah. Music interns. Yes. Awesome.
People
Audio experience.
Yeah. People keep dogs in their offices for similar reasons. Right?
Really?
Yeah. Dogs and cats. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd just be worried my dog's going to pee or poop on the oh, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
And my cats are not gonna like it.
Yeah.
They don't like people.
Their cats are beautiful and they have a problem.
Okay.
They run away from you as soon as they
Really?
look.
Yeah.
Oh, is this guy going to eat me? What was it?
But
That's how cats
do
are.
all cats do that?
Most
Or
of
is it
them.
just indie cats?
No, I think
Majority of the cats do
Okay,
that.
okay, I don't have any cat knowledge. I only have dog knowledge.
Every
Indian
cat has.
normal cats. The ginger
Yeah,
cats,
I had no clue there was an indie cat. I knew indie dogs were there. I didn't know indie cats were
No,
there.
different cats have different personalities. I have a cat in my building which is just chilling there. Just
वो
Yeah.
बाहर की बिल्ली है.
हाँ.
If it's a stray cat, then it knows that.
There is a cat in MG Road station, by the way.
What?
इनको देख.
Who would,
How specific is this?
who would sit
काली
on
है गोरी है.
white?
Wow.
And it's beautiful, and it would sit on where you put the coin in.
Yeah.
Acha.
Yeah, and
okay.
people and it'll be just sitting there.
She's
and
just
we-
doing this when you're trying to put the coin in.
yeah, it's lovely. I always go back and just try to touch it and runs away.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's one of the cutest. All cats are so cute, actually.
Is
Thanks
this
for
how we are
generalizing it.
converging our podcast
Yeah,
to
from UX to pets to
pets
like
to
specific.
I mean,
Yeah.
podcasts can be of everything. अब बीच में मेरे को पूछना था भैया ये बता दीजिए थोड़ा. ठीक है.
Awesome.
So actually, we would actually like to closure, but I think the best question to close this is, where do you look at yourself in 5 years?
Wasn't that like a...
ये वाला तो इंटरव्यू चल रहा है यहाँ
Yeah,
पे.
yeah.
नहीं मतलब basically, what do you think is your future?
Oh, what is my future?
Yeah.
I was going to say that 5-year question now should be shrunk down because the world is changing so much.
Right.
It should just be like, where do you see yourself in 5 months?
5 days I was.
Yeah, 5 days. I'm fine with that too. Like 5 days. I don't know. Something new could come out. I don't know. I do think about this. Like, I transitioned into design. I am a design director at a particular company right now. What am I going to do next? I like joking that the higher you go in an organization, the tools you focus on are Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook.
That's true.
I screamed in some design meeting
Yeah.
was going on, and they're like, "What tools do you use?" I said, "Excel,"
Excel,
and they're
yeah.
like, "Get the fuck out!"
So I think that's part of growing in an organization and whatnot. But I still want to be tethered to the world of design through tools or AI or whatever is going to come in, and keep hands-on practicing those kind of things. So I don't know what I'll be doing in the future. Sometimes I dream when I am not looking at videos or reels. I dream that maybe I do something, I build something, create a product. I'm very passionate about accessibility for some reason, and I keep thinking about doing something in that space.
Yeah, he has a stream video on YouTube from UX India.
I did do a talk in UX India on accessibility,
Yeah,
and in AOH as well.
Please watch it.
Yeah, that was fun. That was actually the person I was telling you who did storytelling. He helped me put that together really well. So,
Who's that?
um,
What's the name?
so this was a person in my team in Designit. He's
Okay.
left now, Vivek Raju.
Okay.
So he is very passionate about storytelling, and if you ask him this question, where does he see himself? I think he's going to say storytelling, and he's going to keep doing that.
Movie banayega main.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's going to a movie level, but he loves doing that. So yeah, I don't know where I'll be, but these are things I keep thinking about, whether I should do or not.
What is one thing you know you're not going to make, but you really want to make?
I am not going to make, and I really want to make.
Like you feel like कि मेरे से नहीं होगा ये, or it doesn't look like it's possible for me to do it. For example, I want to make a video game.
Negative question. कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है.
No, but I think everything feels like that to me.
Yeah.
Even the thing that I feel like I want to do in the accessibility space, it feels like, hey, that's too big.
Yeah.
And then I stop thinking about it. So
Yeah.
it does. I think everything is feeling like that, but you got to take the first step.
And that's why we have been saying the imposter syndrome, and I feel like before you do anything you are an imposter.
For sure.
Yeah, you have to do it to not
Yeah,
be
you
imposter.
fake it till you make it type thing. For sure.
Not even that. It's like until you shoot, you are.
You don't know, right? Yeah. Like you got to believe that you're doing it. So that's why I'm also like excited when I hear like people like you started something by yourself. The other couple I was telling you about who are running Peerlist. I'm just excited to hear that, okay, you stepped away from comfort, did something, and are now successful at it. So,
Yeah.
loving
I want to
it.
be that.
Touch wood.
Definitely it's a journey in itself.
I'm sure.
It's very very inspiring, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the imposterity that you're talking about
Yeah,
with
yeah,
respect to design. Here it's something else. You got to deal with so many roles, so many things that you have never done in the
Yeah.
past. I mean, at least you have a direction when it comes to being a designer. Maybe you get a mentor or somebody is going to
Yeah.
direct you in certain ways. But building a business from scratch is a task.
Like it's amazing to see Almas actually identifying as to what is objection handling in sales. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
It's
I
an
understand.
amazing setup.
Yeah.
And I think whatever you say, if you have to ever talk about like persuading someone to convert,
Yeah.
or for that matter, even when you want to sell design insights as well, I think
Yeah.
we need to know as to what
How to
objection
sell.
handling is.
So I used
Course
to
marketing funnels.
I used to be really inspired by people who could talk.
Yeah.
Like give any situation, especially when I was in college. People went to interviews, and they knew how to talk in an interview.
Yeah.
And I myself, as a person, knew that I would struggle with it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm surprised by the fact how my journey has been. Now I'm a person who is talking, who is handling objections. What I wanted to be back then when I was young, I'm doing that now, and it's amazing to even think
Awesome.
of. I mean, I did not even see the path,
Yeah.
but it happened.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of it, right? You don't have to plan a little too much about
I
it.
did
You
not
just
even
have to think.
manifest. It was just like, oh wow, the
Start
person
doing it.
speaks.
Oh wow is the only thing. वहाँ पे ऐसे manifestation आ जाता
आ
है.
जाता
Yeah.
है क्या?
और
Yeah,
and particularly when a man comes, right? Manifestation का man.
Manifestation. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
resume में जा रहा है.
ये काटना पड़ेगा लग रहा है।
Yeah. This is where the podcast abruptly ends.
What is a tea?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. This is how we bring the closure then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Force it. Yeah. Like इधर तो काटना ही पड़ेगा.
Yes.
चलो. Where do people find you? What do you want to like market something or something?
I guess Twitter is the only social media thing where I'm doing like posting things rarely. WizAbs, WHIZABZ is my handle, which is there technically everywhere. So even on Instagram and wherever you want to follow me, except for LinkedIn, which has to be professional, so it's my name.
Right.
But that's my handle everywhere. But yeah,
Whiz apps. Huh?
WizAbs, yeah.
Okay.
Used to have a poster of a little WizKid baby in my room.
Okay.
I used to love computers, so my mom got this poster where a baby was using a computer
Okay.
and it said WizKid on top.
Okay.
So I picked that up and I picked up Abhimanyu and then just like combined it.
Okay.
And so that's been my thing everywhere. So yeah, Twitter, you can follow me on Instagram, but I'm just reposting reels there. So if you're interested in seeing interesting stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
How was your experience with us?
It was fun.
Experience with experience.
Experience wave.
Oh yeah, experience with experience wave.
On the VividYellow podcast. Yeah.
I was surprised with the amount of work that you guys have done already.
Okay.
Especially
People
with
are,
the plant that we have kept on the other side.
वो cleaning हुआ था सब.
वो मैं ऐसे उठा के लाया हूँ.
yeah, no, but people are not seeing the other side of this setup, and it's
Yeah.
very elaborate. But it's still not overpowering, so we could comfortably have a conversation. So I'm loving that you guys are doing this. Any podcast that comes out that's trying
We
to
definitely would like to collaborate with you anytime. Any opportunity opens up.
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely something
Yeah.
which we would like.
No, this has been fun. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to anything else that you might be able to do.
Let's look at the camera and say, please subscribe to the VividYellow podcast.
Okay.
साथ में बोलना है क्या?
Are we doing 1, 2, 3 and then
No,
say,
just
oh,
you.
it's just me?
Yeah.
So please subscribe to the Vivid Yellow podcast.
Powered by experience wave.
Yeah.
Not by experience, man.
सब मार्केट करना पड़ता है भाई.
Yeah, sure.
माफ कर देना जिसको इस पे क्रिंज आ रहा है. बट ठीक है.
You're still going to cut this out anyway.
No, I'm
माफ
not.
कर देना वाला part.
नहीं, I'm not going to cut. I leave awkward things out.
Awesome.
I
यही
take,
करो तुम है ना. सारा चीजें awkward ही होगा.
I take a lot of inspiration from.
So maybe it's the awkward yellow
So there was
podcast.
this
right?
There was this one line.
That would sound
I
weird.
remember his line. He says that there is only one thing that sells the best at this point of time,
Yeah.
and that's cringe.
Cringe.
And I'm like, yeah, that makes so much sense, right?
Sure.
I'm watching so many people doing cringy things, and I'm like, yeah, I have
Yeah.
to watch it. I know it's bullshit,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna watch it.
Best example, Danchak Puja, but okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
So like
she's,
her.
I think she
She's
started.
amazing.
She was the
No, no,
cringe.
सेल्फी मैंने ले ली
Right.
पे मेरे रहता ताज
Yeah.
यहाँ पे आता है लीडर बोर्ड.
Fine.
Awesome.
We'll end this
Right.
there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much